guys, it's Takeover Tuesday here on the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. Let's do this.
You're watching the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. Welcome to the Rusty Hook Podcast, presented by Feelfree Kayaks. Paddle, pedal, or power, there's something for everyone. ZPRO Lithium, serious power for serious anglers. DuBro Fishing, American marine application in soft plastics. Big Lake Bait Company, Texas's #1 custom bait maker. Raw and unfiltered. Streaming on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Bringing you gear reviews and candid interviews from the industry's best. Angler profiles, tournament news, and legendary knowledge from kayak fishing's best. Grab that cold drink and get settled in. Now here's John Rapp, our host.
Hey guys, welcome to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. As you know or heard, I'm John Rapp, your host. And I'm looking forward to this episode because I get to talk to a buddy of mine from Georgia. And, this is not one of those, how are you doing shows? This is like a kickback, laugh, relax. And we're just going to talk about kayak fishing. And we're going to interview this guy and talk to him about his wrangling skills recently. But I believe you guys are also watching us here live, raw and unfiltered, on a couple of channels. We're streaming on the West Virginia Kayak Anglers Facebook page, Rusty Hook, out in Colorado with TPO and Paddle and Fin. Also some YouTube channels, Rusty Hook, Paddle and Fin, and Daniel's page. Twitch. Hey, Twitch lovers. I know we're not 5'3", 100 pounds. But love us. And Twitter, give us some shout out. So, the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast going in its 4th year. And we're doing new things. We got a few people jumping on. Just give us a shout out. And if you're on the show, help us out, make us interactive. Let's take a look here. We've got Tim Williams, giving us a shout out. And then, of course, our boys from Southeast Georgia Kayak Bass Fishing are live with us. That's probably our guest in the background, doing a little bit of work with his fingers while we're talking here. But hey, our guest today is Daniel Woodcock, and he's a brother from another mother down in Georgia, like-minded, and we've traveled the same path in life, and I'm looking forward to just sitting down, talking to him about what he's been into up to this point this year. Can't believe summer solstice has already passed us. And what he's got planned for the next few months before he gets into his cold season of 90 degrees. So, anyway, without further ado, Big Dan, welcome to the show, my brother.
Hey, thank you, John. And I'm glad to be here with you in the Rusty Hook Podcast crew.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's not your first rodeo here. And I've been with you on a few shows. We've hung out and talked and chat all things about that we do and what we love to do. And man, I mean, so before we get started, man, let people know. I put it up in the show notes, folks, if you get a chance to look. But Dan, give them a shout out where they can follow you. On your channels and your socials.
Yep. So I have everything from my personal Facebook to a Facebook group to a Facebook page, Southeast Georgia Kayak Bass Fishing. You can find me on YouTube as well under Southeast Georgia Kayak Bass Fishing and on Instagram. I guess I'm on Twitter here and there, or X, whatever you want to call it. Whatever. Yeah. Wherever what Elon wants to name it next week. But yeah, that's my socials, and
hit me
up.
Subscribe, like, and follow.
Yep, subscribe, like, follow, comment, give me a thumbs down, thumbs up, whatever.
Hey, I like thumbs downs too, man. I mean, it means somebody's watching, somebody's disagreeing.
Yeah, some Karen's disagreeing with us.
Speaking of which, man, I tell you, I was, I manage teams, and I know you do a lot of management with the stuff that you work with. You run a bunch of clubs and stuff, and I saw one of my guys earlier tonight. He made a post, and he's one of my good guys. He's constantly tagging, and I noticed he left out a tag, and it was a good post. I'm like, hey, bro, man, what's up there? He's like, dude, if I tagged us there, I'd get disqualified for what I was doing. Cross posting. Now, get it. And and I know you and your wife, y'all are into marketing and y'all know what cross posting is all about. Yeah. But this company wanted content from their people with only their brand. And I'm thinking, why are those type of activities being sought out nowadays? I mean, why live in a tunnel on a one-lane road when there's so much out there that you can share with? I mean, you know it.
Yeah.
Eyes on.
Yeah.
It's like right now.
I guess, John, you're talking about one company having one person make one post, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it helps the brand at all. I really don't. Because if I make a post on Instagram and I tag ZPRO, Feelfree, DuBro, and all them companies, well, somebody on DuBro's page might not follow Feelfree.
Exactly. Eyes on.
Yeah. So you're creating. Well, let me go see what Feelfree's about, and or ZPRO or whoever down the line.
Dan tags these 10 companies every time. Why?
Right. And in today's world, John, and that lady inside my house right there can vouch for this, is companies see that you constantly tag them, and then they're saying, hey, we need to kind of reach out to this guy, see what he's all about a little bit, and kind of get his background and kind of see if we can work with him in the future, or say, hey, we want to sign you on as a member of our media group or things like that.
I think some companies call you pro staff, some companies call you promotional staff, or but I mean, you're an arm of the marketing department,
right?
And and that's the one thing I giggled, because I own that company's product. I use it. I love it. But the fact that they're trying to do things like that, it saddens me, because they're losing the opportunity to grow their brand even bigger.
Certainly. It's with any kind of marketing brand, the Rusty Hook or SDG KBF or whoever down the line. It's just, if you feel like a person, or say, I'll take me for a personal example. If somebody came to me and say, hey, we want you to make content strictly for ZPRO. Well, the content that I use, I can't, I really can't say I can just vouch for one company, say, because other companies either give me product or I buy their product because I like to fish with it or use it as I don't care.
Yeah.
Wash my truck with or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I've been the team manager at ZPRO now for almost 2 years, and one of the things I always tell those guys, you're using a battery. Batteries are used with something, so tag us with that product. If you got your ZPRO battery in your Hobie, operating your Lowrance or your XI3, tag those companies with our battery, because that's 4 different products, 4 different companies. The owners of those may be looking for something that you're using and doing effectively well.
Right. Because I think overall, if you look in the kayak world, I think kayak companies look at different brands, especially with batteries, trolling motors, saying, okay, how can we incorporate? Okay, you've got a 100 amp. What can we make on that next kayak where that battery can sit down in?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and things like that. So their research and product development people are looking at things like that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a Feelfree user. Been with that team for 10 years, and our guys out in Malaysia, where we get in Thailand, we've got a designer over there. He actually, for one of our newer boats, the Dorado that came out, built a battery box to sit down in our battery well. A box in the boat. So, and then our newest version, the version 2, actually created a removable box, because version 1 was getting water. Where the box was receded below the boat, the line for the scuppers,
Right.
it gathered water. So you needed to carry a sponge with you. When you were done, you pull your battery out and you use that sponge to clean out the water. But great product. I mean, I actually have the battery box that I use on the back of my Moken 12.5 for my NK300. So, hey guys, we're live, raw, and unfiltered. 19 of you are watching. Give us a shout out. Tell us where you're from, and let's give you a little love. So you got quite a few people from the West Virginia Kayak Anglers page watching us, and Southeast Georgia too. So give us a shout out. Let us know where you're watching from, and let us give you some love.
Right here in 452.
Hey, the 452 Hot Mama just said hello.
But yeah, it's yeah, John, I want to bring up something because this is my first year going.
Thank you, Tim.
To iCast.
And great segue into that, because that's what I was going with.
Yeah. So I'm having the luxury, me and Christina's having the luxury to tag along with Yak Rods down to iCast 2024. That's the fisherman's dream, right? Is go to where companies have developed products, bringing them in to showcase them for the next year release.
Year.
Yeah, for the next year release. So you're kind of seeing what's going to be released on the market and kind of bring that back to your people that fish with you in your clubs, on your tournament scenes, and things like that. So you can say, hey,
you got to visit the new product showcase. And the good thing about iCast is that you can take your camera in there and cell phone. You can take all kinds of pictures. You can start promoting it on your pages. Say, oh, look at this! Can't wait. Here's what I found that's coming out. I mean, they love it, and that's that cross posting that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. And not only that, it kind of then companies can see a face, put a name with a face.
Oh yeah.
You can introduce yourself. Say, hey, I'm Daniel Woodcock. I run Southeast Georgia Kayak Bass Fishing. I have this, and this, and so it's going to be an experience for me. I'll probably be overwhelmed, but
let me give you some guidance here.
Okay.
Get you a dock card, or either that or an app on your phone with all of your stuff at one location,
right?
That you can share with them. They can scan. They can put it in their phone. And they have all your details. A lot of people use a dock card.
Yeah, that's what let me see.
Hey, Michael, thanks for tuning in, brother.
It is. I use. It's called Bling. I use Bling.
Is it Bling or Blink?
Yeah. Is Bling?
That's what I use.
BLINQ.
Q. Yeah.
Q. Yeah, Blink.
I use the same thing.
Yeah.
That's funny. I've got mine filled out with all of my socials, all of my web addresses.
Yeah. Tim, I think it is. You're actually on the Paddle and Fin.
Yeah.
Network.
Tim, let me give you a story about that, bro. I actually was on Anchor FM, that podcast that Spotify bought out last year, and then they merged everything. And since they've merged everything, I haven't been able to log in to where I can upload my Rusty Hook shows to my Anchor FM Spotify account. Every time I change I can't even get a response when I try to change my password to log in to get a response back to do it. But if you want to watch or listen to these shows, they are uploaded every morning by one of our admin guys, Randy Newton, who runs the Final Cast. And they go to Spotify via the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. So you can watch us there. Waypoint TV has us too, I think, through their channels as well. So, but thank you for asking that question.
Yeah. Tim's a bait maker down from Florida, Jacksonville, Florida area.
What's he make, man? Hey, Tim, tell us a little bit about what you make and share your passion, bro.
This is a speed worm. The speed part's pulled off of it, but that's one of the speed worms he makes. But
got that Texas rig set up.
Well, that's an old one I took off of.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but it's just something sitting on my desk I can fidget my hands with, so I don't talk with my hands too much.
Yeah, that makes me think of a story when I was in Iraq. I'm back in the operations section, and I had to go out and do a detail with my men, and I was waiting on my generator to take out on the off post to go do our thing, and there's a generator sitting right there, and I'm like, "Where's my generator?" Well, we're waiting on it. I said, "Well, whose is that one?" Well, that's such and such. And I looked at my guys and said, "Load it up, let's go. We ain't got time to wait." I got back and found out that such and such was the operations sergeant major.
Oh, Lord.
And he lit it in my ass, and I looked at him. I said, "I'm sorry, Sergeant Major." I threw my hands up. He looked at me and he says, "Staff Sergeant, don't you think you should be standing at parade dressed?" I'm like, "Oh, guys, got big. Oh, my apologies."
But yeah, it's but now, John, going back to talking to iCache, I've told a few people I'm going, and they said, "Oh, well, bring walking shoes." But I don't expect to be I expect to be walking around the showcase and everything, but
bro, yeah,
yeah,
you're standing on concrete for 3 days, or I guess you're gonna be there for two, but possibly 3. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
After you and the wife get there, you might like, "Hey, honey, we're going back for one more day." Or it's huge. You can't see it all in one day, and I know that the one day that you're going to be there is just the outside showcase, which you can see in probably 3 or 4 hours. But,
yeah.
But when you're inside, prior COVID, you had every market in the world coming to Orlando, especially the Japanese, Chinese, a lot of bait makers from overseas, Koreans, Australia, just everywhere, really. And then after COVID, last show was pretty big. Last year was pretty big, but 2 shows before, it was spaced out because you were still missing that international market coming back.
Right.
And if they start filtering back and we get more, especially the Japanese brands, because man, they make some of the best products. You're just gonna be like, wow. I mean,
yeah.
But
I'll probably be overwhelmed this year. I'll go ahead and tell you, I'll probably.
No, I'm overwhelmed.
I'll probably walk in the front door going, "What'd I get myself into?"
You'll love it, man. I mean, and that's one of the things that I was doing all day today. I dug out my laptop, made sure that my StreamYard was hooked in, and then I ordered. I've got a couple things. I've got my iPad that I'm running my background on right now, but I've got some mics to hook up to the iPad if I want to do some recording down there with people. But I just ordered these, man. This is pretty sweet product. It's called the wireless Hollyland Lark M2, and it's about $179. it comes with 3 setups. So it's got, you can use it, you can plug it into your laptop, you can plug it into your iPhone, or you can plug it into like a DSL camera.
Right.
So this is the little charging port that comes with it. It's pretty sweet.
Oh, wow.
And you can see the setup in there. The little mics charging. There's 2 mics. So like when I interview you guys, like guys, looking forward to Yak Rods coming over to the DuBro booth, and we do a live show about what they got coming up for 2025. Hopefully, I can have we'll have you guys over there, and I'll stick a couple of lapel mics on you, and we'll sit down and talk about the new products that they're going to do.
Yeah, I think what I'm understanding is they're releasing 2 products in the new showcase.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah, they didn't tell a whole lot on the podcast that I had them on, but Tandy and Chris, Tandy is actually bringing her daughter. They're driving from Idaho to Florida.
That's awesome.
So yeah, their company's out in Idaho. But Chris is coming. I think Chris is flying. So, but yeah, they're taking a road trip.
Yeah, that's the good thing. That's what I love about ICAST. The past 3 years is like, this is the 3rd year. We've made it into a fishing trip. So I will set up. I will drive down to Chattanooga and meet the other guys that I meet with, and we'll stay in Chattanooga overnight, and then we go out and we fish locally, either Guntersville or Nickajack right there at the tri-state line.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama. We'll shoot content for DuBro, and then we pack up. Last year, we packed up and we went to Atlanta, stopped at Westbrook Supply, met with Fletch and the crew. We spent the night there, or we're going to, and go out and fish the next day. But Fletch ended up being involved in one of those safety AABC safety courses. He was getting trained to be a certified safety trainer for kayaking, and so we couldn't do that. We packed on up, went on down to Florida, and we do a saltwater trip. We've been with the same guide for 3 years, and then head on over to Orlando, unload, pack up, and then I get with some of the guys that I know in Florida locally, and I try to get out and fish. I got team members down there, so.
Yeah. I think I heard on y'all's podcast, though, y'all like to stop at the Waffle House.
Oh, hey, so the Waffle House it's coming out hard with our little personal chat, man. Brian Schiller, I appreciate coffee. I drink coffee, and I'm sure you do too. Being
certainly
what we do for a living, but Brian is he doesn't consume coffee; he just devours it. But so every Waffle House is pretty much designed. If we stay somewhere on our way down, it's right next to a Waffle House. Because he's in Illinois, he don't have them.
No, no. But you got to admit their coffee is pretty good damn coffee.
Yeah, I went up to DuBro and we did some product design and stuff that actually they're bringing down for this showcase, and dude, he drank 2 thermoses of coffee before 10 o'clock, and then went to make more. I've never seen it so much in my life.
Well, I'm probably in the same boat as him. When I head up to work, there's a QT. If y'all know what QTs are, right down the road from me, they have some of the best coffee in the morning. I drink a cup on the way to work, which is about a 30-minute ride. I get in my office, I make another cup. Then after briefing, we make a big pot. So I'm a coffee connoisseur, especially in the colder weather and when it gets cold down here in Georgia.
Yeah, at 90-degree weather, I tell you.
Let me tell you, it was. I didn't know what the water temperature is right now today. because the last 2 days the heat index has been about 103, 104, 105.
And speaking of which, I mean, I know you're a man of many talents.
Yeah,
and,
I am.
And you're out there doing your job daily, protecting and serving the public. But there's got to be a story behind this.
Yeah, there's a heck of a story. so I'll go to the backstory first, and then get to the photos on it. So we've been dealing with a lot of alligators lately here in South Georgia and Savannah. So one of our west side precincts, and they ended up catching a pretty good sized gator. He's probably about 6 foot. It's made national news and it went viral. But this call was yesterday. It was in one of our. It's called the Isle of Hope area, which is just an island outside of the area that we work, and it was in somebody's flower bed. And so we wrangled him up a little bit and tied him up and taped his mouth and put him inside of a trash can and just took him back to the marsh.
Yeah.
So
he probably down there chasing someone's cats.
Dad, or trying to find more water.
Yeah, I guess that heat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
she's got. Yeah.
Usually got mulch in there and had been sprayed down with water, and it was going in there and hitting that.
Yeah. So he made it back. He was, but I have to tell you, in my younger days, he'd have probably made it to a cooler. And would have been some nice tender gator tail.
I hear you.
But
I hear you. Yeah, we've had some fun with some of those over at Santee Cooper in South Carolina.
Yeah.
As you can, in this, look, it was about the same size of that, probably a 2.5, 3 footer, and one of the guys caught it, got it on the boat, and he taped the mouth up and he brought it back to the cabin. And granted, you're talking like 12 guys from West Virginia that come down there that do the same thing that you do, and down there just for a week fishing, drinking some cold beverages and eating a lot of catfish and chicken nuggets or chicken wings. And one of the guys decides he's going to go take a shower and doesn't know that we have that, and so it gets released in his room.
Oh, Lord.
And shut the door, and I never heard someone squall like I. And then what's so funny about that after the fact is that we're taking pictures with it afterwards before we take it back and release it back into the water, and he's holding it, but he didn't hold it very, very good. That thing let that tail whip, and it come across his jaw, his face, and it about knocked him out. I mean, he stumbled and dropped it. We had to wrangle it back up and then drop it outside. But one of the guys I fish with, you'll be fortunate enough someday to hopefully meet him, John Gillespie. He'd been my traveling partner. I worked with him, went through the academy with him, worked with him, retired with him, fished with him, kayak fish. He's just walked the same path we walk, and but he used to prankster. He was the one that caught it and did everything like that. And it's fun times.
Yeah. So Jason Starley, he fished my tournament this past weekend at Lake Sinclair in Millersville, Georgia. He was saying that he saw 91-degree water temp in one pocket.
Yeah.
So
I believe it. And, speaking of hammer, that man can probably catch a smallmouth bass down there in 91-degree water. That one smallmouth bass that might be down out there in Georgia, he can catch it.
Yeah, he does. He does very well. If he can find them, he'll get on them.
Yeah.
I think he finished second. Eric Hawks He actually finished first with 88 and I think 3/4 inches. He got some late minute
Upgrades.
Yeah, upgrades, and so he but yeah, we
Ooh,
yeah,
Kara.
Karen
She said
80
sun in the 89. My goodness.
in Arkansas. But yeah, it's getting warm. I'm not even gonna fish tomorrow or Thursday. Well, I've got some stuff I got to do for work Thursday, but yeah, tomorrow I got to get some other things lined up, get some blog posts written for my website, things like that. So
Got anything you're writing up that you can talk about for Roy?
yeah, we so this next issue I'm releasing Fishing the Backwater. I've released a few shows. I think I got 3 episodes on my YouTube channel now called The Backwaters. It's just trying to get off just trying to find backwater holes. You know, kayak fishing I think kayaks were designed to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
And just try to, I've got a lot of river swamp around me I want to get into, and some smaller creeks and things like that. We just had the rain lately. Some of these things are drying up. But yeah, it's that's the title of the article that I'm gonna write for Roy for the magazine, and
if you need any help with that, I'll shoot you a paragraph or two. I just the videos that I shot last week, and I'm gonna tell you guys, Versa 360, they got that 8K version now. I still got the 4K. I love it absolutely. I went back to my backwater marsh last week and probably caught 15 largemouth, and nothing huge. 16 inches was my big. Most of them are between 12 and 14, and but I got about 6 or 8 of them on video, which is before I ran out of space. but yeah, we ain't approaching those temperatures yet up here in the mountain state, but we are right pushing the high 80s, low 90s, so if things go well tomorrow and we don't get any rain or thunderstorms, I'm gonna go out and hit it tomorrow afternoon.
heck, I wish it just rained for a couple days down here.
Is your backwater stuff getting dry, or
yeah, it's yeah, the river levels are pretty much dropping out, especially on these smaller rivers that I want to get into. It's really dropping out. So the Hoopy River, which is outside of Reedsville, it kind of runs into the Ottamaha. It's dropped out. I think it's like 1.3 feet
below normal.
Yeah.
Summer pool.
Yeah, so it's and the Canoochee River's dropped out. And this time of year, everybody's got in there, but now the water level's so low you can't get john boats in there. But I can get that kayak in about a half an inch of water.
Yeah. Hey, so I just want you to see that temperature right there for my neck of the woods.
What? 78 and sunny.
Sorry, Kara.
97 was for the high today, right? So we got 97 for the next 3 days.
I don't think we were up that high.
Right.
No, not. There's no way. I know we weren't. But our high temperature today was 83 degrees. Daily. Now tomorrow's going to reach 88. Thursday 81. Friday 85, and then weekends 86 and 81. So looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason popping in there down in here, a little bit west of you. He's
in Middle Georgia. He's outside of Millersville. Actually,
100 degrees.
Yeah, it's scorching down here, man.
Boys, you guys keep that down there, I tell you. Hey, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll
Okay.
talk more about iCast and what we got planned for the rest of the year.
Okay.
Feelfree Kayaks. Paddle, pedal, or power. Something for everyone. DuBro Fishing. Marine products for fresh or saltwater adventures. ZPRO Lithium. Serious power for serious anglers. Big Lake Bait Company. Texas's #1 custom soft plastics.
Hey guys, John Rapp with the Rusted Kayak Fishing Podcast. Appreciate everybody tuning in for the last half hour or so. Been talking with my buddy from Georgia, Daniel Woodcock, and we're just having an evening chat, drinking some iced tea, cool beverages, and relaxing, and talking about all things kayak fishing, what we've done up to this point, talking about iCast, talking about the weather, and what else? Who knows? Let's talk some more. Bring on Daniel now. Hey, buddy, welcome back to the second half of the show, my friend.
Hey, thank you for having me, John.
No, I appreciate you making that quick trip to the house after a long day out beating the heat. And, I know if your wife is like mine, she's like, when you gonna be done so we can eat dinner and watch some
I've
show?
already I've already ate dinner.
Now, Beth, she's where she works about 30 minutes from here. She knows my Tuesday routine, so she makes it her long day down at work. She'll work a 10 or 12 hour day, then she'll roll in just as I'm kicking off and stuff. So
Yeah. But yeah, we I think I'm gonna have a good time now at iCast, John. I get to meet y'all in person. Talking over the internet, doing podcasts like this, you just don't get to shake hands, and talk with people face to face. But I'm ready, and my wife's probably going to tell me to shut up when I'm down there. But
no, man, shoot. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, that's the one thing. If you stop to talk to people, you'll never get to see everything. So you'll be like, "Hey, honey, we got to stay another day because I only got to see like a third of the exhibition."
Yeah. Well, we had talked. We discussed it the other night. She's like, "Well, we'll see how it goes the first 2 days, and I've got the rest of the week. It's a short week, so I get 7 days off." So.
Yeah. I mean, and I told you the expectations for the on the water demonstrations. I mean,
Right.
That's just like a tip, a little piece of us dangling. A lot of guys in the past, iCasts, they had like bass tournaments during those days where people go out and fish tournaments,
Right.
and together with the pros. They do a pro-am in some ways. Then they would have kayak fishing events out there too. I mean, it was huge. They did a lot of different things to occupy the time for everybody that wasn't part of those showcases out there on the water.
Right.
But and a lot of people, like a lot of vendors, also take that time to finish putting their booths together for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Right.
I know Tuesday, like I was telling you, the DuBro booth will be done quickly. It's a really small booth. We'll get everything thrown up probably in less than 2 hours on Monday. I'm hoping to get with some of the locals down there Monday afternoon, go hit one of the local ponds.
Right.
I don't know if you know Frizzy Zamora. Frizz is a buddy of mine. Jason knows him, and I fished with him last year, and we had a good time. Went out and took some stuff out there. Yeah, Jason, that's true. I've tried to get Jason to come to iCast. He's always so busy. Yeah.
Next year, if y'all make the trip down, y'all can just, if you come down, if you're meeting in Chattanooga every year and you come down to 75, you got to come. You can go travel 16 over to the middle of the state. And then,
yeah, that's what hurt my feelings. I would love to avoid that Atlanta traffic jam. Good grief! Even at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Even at 2 a.m. It's an hour slow
Commute.
down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, you can kind of wiggle your way over to 441, and 441 splits the state. So.
Well, here's the other thing, guys. Jason, I don't have a full-time job anymore. If you guys say, hey, we're going to have a 3-day weekend over here at Southeast Georgia Kayak Bass Fishing event in July 31st. I mark it down on my calendar, and I put the boat in the back of the kayak, and I roll. I mean, I can be in Atlanta from my location in probably 8 hours. It's not a bad drive. So.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we've done for a living was stayed in a car for 8 hours plus. So it's not a bad drive.
Nah. But no, me and Jason was actually talking the other day in some text that we wanted to do a little bit more meet and greets and make some camping meets and just kind of throw the old route stuff back out and because everybody gets kind of tied up fishing these tournaments and they get worn out and then
yeah. We used to do that when Beth and I ran the West Virginia Kayak Anglers. We always scheduled 2 events during the year that weren't tournaments. They were just fun floats, and then barbecue at the end of it.
Yep.
I don't know what your river situations are like down in your section. We have right where we're at. We've got like 5 different rivers within 30 miles of us, and we could everybody would go to one, and we would just drop vehicles off on one end, go up, set, float, and then somebody would be down there for the barbecue, ready for us.
We could do that on the in outside of Savannah here's the Geechee River, so you can we could put in at Morgan's Bridge, which is about 2 minutes from my house right here, and then I've got a little private area that I have access to, which is about float wise down the river. It's about 6.5 miles. But then you can take
he just hit it on the head.
Yeah. We've been discussing it. We discussed it the other day at the tournament after the tournament as well, and trying to we're just gonna try to nail something down maybe later in the year after all the tournament scene stuff. So our big tournament, our Georgia Tour Kayak Series down here that I'm running is we've got one more live tournament and then we got a championship round. So there's only 2 tournaments left in that, and then the online stuff, the online kayak series that I run runs through October. And then I'm running. I've got so much stuff going on, John. So I'm running 7. So I'm running 7 different regions. So I broke the states up in regions. So I'm running that. I'm just doing a trial run on that, just kind of online stuff. And it's kind of a weird setup because you can fish off the bank, a kayak, or a boat. But it's all CPR. So I'm just trying to get the boat world to understand the CPR world, and trying to get more people involved and more people to look at the catch, photo, and release than trying to put 5 fish in a live well and riding them around for 8 to 9 hours
and then
on a body of water,
taking them away miles and miles away from where they're from.
Right.
But that's a good deal. So I guess we have something to look forward to. For your area of the world, in Savannah, Georgia area, do you guys have good fishing year round, or do the bass take a break in December?
Well, here in South Georgia, you can pretty much fish year round.
Okay.
Like this hot weather, either you're going to be getting on the lake or the body of water at 4 o'clock in the morning and fishing till about 9 and getting off, or you're going to fish late afternoon into the dark. But like October, November, December, I can vouch in November, man, I have caught some inches in November. Big fish. Even though you might have to slow down, I think the last time I put over 100 inches in November, I caught them on a Ned rig. But
hey, all right, speaking my language there.
So, but yeah, it's just I can put people on. People's asked me to guide them, and I was like, no, I really don't want to get into that world.
I hear you.
Yeah, and that's just another. But I've got access to some private lakes that have a ton of fish in them, and I'm trying to manage that, get them numbers down to get bigger fish in there.
I'll tell you what, I wished I could have got that moving tower that was in my location up there last week. I was fishing. I saw a nice 16, 17-inch bass floating around a tree. So she came out of some brush, and I watched where she went. And I threw out in front of her. I'm dragging lizards. They love lizards right now in my area this time of year, and or brush hogs. So I drag it by, and I saw her go back into the brush, and then I watched a giant, just looked like something right under the water moving. And you guys can go look at my Facebook page from last week, and you can see one of the videos. I tagged it, and it was a mud turtle that had to be as big as my chest, with a head as big as my. And I'm like, my goodness, I need to get you out of here. You're eating everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's but fishing down here, you're all year long is accessible. If unlike if you move on up to the northern states.
Yeah, like here.
Northern north, states that have a potential to get snow in October and November.
Well, I can tell you, our fishing, largemouth fishing, pretty much shuts off mid-October. I mean, it's hard. I mean, you can catch fish, but it's not like spring, summer fishing, And then your smallmouth will probably start falling off at the end of the month. I mean, you go out and fish, and I'm even talking throwing a Ned rig, going out and dragging your rivers, and it's still tough to catch fish. You have to wait until almost dusk to catch them coming out of their little holes, and to feed. But it's tough. I mean, so I'd love to hear about y'all's stories there, folks. How about your tough fishing? Where you're at, where you're from. When's it get tough?
Yeah. Nobody wants to tell them the tough story. They want to. Nobody wants to tell us the true side of fishing, right?
No, man. I guess.
That's like going back to the backwater, John. And talking about Roy in the magazine, but on the video side of the backwater, even if I don't catch fish, I'm still posting that stuff because that's real. That's reality. That you don't go out there and catch monsters every time you go fishing.
No, I do that too, man. I'll post my missed hook sets, or he's on for 3 seconds and then spits it out. I feel like you learn from those too.
Yeah, you do.
Look at the video and you can oh, I mean, there's been several. I even did it live when I was up Lake Erie back last month. I cast them behind me because I saw that fish jump as I was moving by, and I know I can't get a good hook set.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you got to count to 10 after you feel it hit. Let it get it down.
Yeah. But yeah, Jason's right. We're talking about January and February, tough conditions for us cold-natured Southern folks. But let me tell you, some big bass are caught during them months down here.
I bet.
They feed up on the shad and things like that. So it's.
Well, I want to talk about what Kara posted here and a comment you made. A lot of you guys get off the water at 9 a.m. and then maybe don't get back on until like a couple hours before dark. Do you ever like go out and try to beat the afternoon and punch some mats or work the edges of grass lines and see if you can get a bite, even though you may be suffering in 100 degree temperatures. I mean, if you wear the right clothing and shade, and
There it is.
That looks like a brush hog.
Well, that's actually the new Gremlin by Z-Man.
Gremlin. Okay.
Yeah, but I cut that off my punching
Hey, Mikey.
from my punching setup the other day because I tied something else on. But yeah, I used to never flip or punch mats, never. And then I'm fishing with a buddy. I've been fishing with him for 3 years now, and he taught me how to punch and flip. So there you go.
All right. Did you have some pretty good success?
This past Saturday, that's what I flipped.
Okay.
With that and a big Texas rig worm, 10-inch worm. And I caught 2 keepers, but I caught a ton of fish on the punch and flipping timber, blow down timber off the bank. But yeah, it's just hard fishing right now with all the temperatures down here, John, and just everybody, all these big bass boat clubs.
Yeah.
They're running the rivers, they're running the club,
That's the one thing I like about fishing in West Virginia, because we can escape to the rivers, which boats cannot get on. You don't have to fight boats because our waters are rapids, shoals. I mean, it's rough water. You may have some of those half-mile pools that you'll have guys with their little 10-foot John boat up and down.
Right.
Most of those dudes, they're either out there for catfish, crappie, or you got your occasional muskie fisherman.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah, man. Anytime. And I'm looking forward to Florida time with y'all guys.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely. I guess we're talking 3 weeks and we'll be on the road. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll. I think we're going to leave out Tuesday morning or maybe Monday night, Tuesday morning early. So.
Yeah, we got a good trip. We're leaving Thursday, meeting in Tennessee, like I told you pre-show. Yeah. We're going to stop in Chattanooga, fish for a couple days, shoot some content. Stop in Georgia on our way down. Stop in Florida. We've got a salt trip scheduled for Tuesday. It's going to be a good trip. But hey, man. I can't wait to see you there. At least see you Wednesday morning at the show.
Yeah, man. Yep, I'm excited. So,
Yak Rod's coming over to the Paddle and Fin.
Yeah, I've already reached out. Yeah, I've reached out to Chris. I need to send some information to you, John. Too. I'll text his information to you. That way you have it.
Sounds good, brother.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you again. Be blessed. We'll sign off here. You take care of yourself. Hydrate, brother. Hydrate.
2 bottles of water already.
Take care, man. I'll see you in about 3 weeks.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight. I want to run over one other thing here real quick before I sign off with you guys. And as Jason can attest, he's a Georgia boy. We're part of the Feelfree Fishing team, and we're running a Feelfree customer appreciation event. And it's not just for the Feelfree kayak, but it's the family brand of Feelfree, which is 3 Waters, it's Johnny Boat, and Seastream kayaks. If you own one of those 4 brands, we've got a free event, customer appreciation event that we're doing starting on July 5th. And it's a SummerSlam event, so it's a summer event. We give away prizes weekly for top 5 fish. The leading angler for the week, the biggest bass of the week, and a hashtag photo. So, Georgia folks, you got some of the beautiful scenery out on the water. Take a photograph of something. Hashtag it. Feelfree SummerSlam 2024. Post it on one of the Feelfree pages, 3 Water pages, Johnny pages, your page, your Twitter. Just tag us so we can see it. And our marketing director will select weekly to give away prizes, and we announce it the following week. So definitely include. I want you guys to look at. And as Jason talked about here, we have 26 spots left because I last look we had 74 people signed up. We cap it at 100 so we don't have to pay Tourney X too much money because it's for free. And so there's 26 spots left. Come and hang out with us for 3 weeks and have some fun. But just wanted to give you guys that info. Appreciate you hanging out with me and Dan tonight. Make sure you go check out the comments and the links that are posted in the show notes. And be blessed. It's John Rapp with the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. Nothing but love for you. And as I always state at the end of my shows, safety, safety, safety. Always wear your PFD. Always let somebody know where you're going to be fishing at. Like,
yeah, John Rapp.
Yeah, Beth Rapp. Where you're starting, where you're finishing. Be blessed.